In today's gospel passage, Jesus tells us to love our enemies, do good to those who hate us, bless those who curse us, and pray for those who abuse us. By teaching us to love our enemies, Jesus reveals to us another way to define love. Often, we define love from the perspective of how I feel to someone or something. For example, I feel good when eating chocolate. I may even say, because I have good feelings towards chocolate, that I love chocolate. When I eat chocolate, though, I'm not thinking about forgiving chocolate or blessing chocolate. This is because I'm defining my love for chocolate by how I feel towards chocolate. The love that Jesus is speaking about in commanding us to love our enemies is very different from loving chocolate. It's another kind of love, a love that is not primarily rooted in the feelings, in my feelings, but rather rooted in my will as formed by supernatural grace. Loving enemies is about willing the good of another, whether I feel good towards them or not. This kind of love only is possible by relying on God's grace, because we are not naturally inclined towards our enemies. We can become inclined to our enemies, to will the good for them, whether we feel like it or not, when we are supernaturally helped to be supernaturally inclined towards our enemies, to will their good. Just doing good, therefore, is not enough to be a faithful follower of Jesus, to be a Christian, to be a Catholic. Instead, we are called to be more than good. We're called to be very good, which brings us to Genesis. In Genesis chapter 1, on the sixth day, God creates land animals and then calls them good. Afterwards, still on the same sixth day, God creates us, man and woman, in God's image and likeness, and then calls man and woman not just good, but calls them very good. Why? Because while man and woman are good like the land animals, we also feel and are emotional like the land animals, but man and woman are also very good, since we are created in God's image and likeness and, as Scott Hahn explains, created on the sixth day for the seventh day, a day of offering all of creation as a priestly people back to God in thanksgiving. Since we are human beings and not just emotional land animals, being good is not good enough. We are called to be very good. We are called to be holy. And according to Jesus, being very good entails loving our enemies, something that mere land animals are not expected by God to do. Sheep are not expected by God to love wolves. However, we are called to love those who want to harm us, who want to eat us up. How is it possible? Only by grace, which brings us to the seventh day on which God commands us to rest and worship. May we be very careful, more careful than we have been in the past, to preserve the commandment of the Sabbath rest, to remember to keep holy the Lord's day. If we do not keep holy the Lord's day, if we just work on the Lord's day and on other days without a time for prayerful rest, we will be just good, just beast-like, just land animal-like, who do good work for 7 days in a row, but do not do very good work, do not do holy work, since their work is not informed by God's merciful grace. As our work becomes more and more informed by God's grace, then and only then will we be able to love in a holy way, in a very good way, by loving even our enemies. God bless.